Okay, so we're starting seated, either cross legs or legs straight out in front of you. Either of those is fine to start in. And you're going to lift your chest up high, roll your shoulders back away from your chest. Interlace fingers in front of you, push your palms forwards. And on an inhale, lift your arms up. As you breathe out, bringing hands down. And then keep lifting and lowering. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, arms come down. Just keep stretching up nice and tall through the top of your head. And now next time your arms lift up, we'll take a few side stretches, left to right. Just soften the elbows as much as you need to release your neck here. And then we're coming to center again. We'll bring fingers onto shoulders, elbows together. We'll circle, elbows down, up, all the way around. And change and rotate in the opposite direction. And next time your arms go back, you reach back and interlace your fingers. Just lean towards your spine, lean towards the back of your neck. And now you're going to release your arms and cross one arm on top of the other. Hook your fingers over your shoulders or a little bit higher over your upper back. Yep, not eagle arms, just hooking over. And then taking gentle twists side to side. So you might not be able to twist very deep. That's absolutely fine. It's just little twists side to side. Really get that upper back warming up. And then pointing elbows forwards. Change the cross of the arms, opposite arm underneath. Again, hooking over shoulders or shoulder blades and little twists side to side. Keep lifting your chest up away from your tummy. And then elbows to center. Now you're going to take your hands back behind you with your fingers pointing away from you. Lean your shoulders back behind the line of your hips. Step your feet forwards to the sides of your mat or a little bit wider if your legs are longer. And take a few rolls side to side. Start to warm up those outer thighs and outer hips. Our focus this morning, we've got a little bit of a mixed bag, but leaning more towards side body stretches and opening. Okay, now next time your knees lift up, step your feet together, slide them forward, straight legs, and walk your hands all the way up. And let's take a twist, bending the right knee up. Let's circle around. And try to get the top of your head straight up over your whole spine, so that your spine is not leaning left or right or back. Very rarely in this pose will you lean forwards towards your chest because that right leg is in the way, but possible to tilt your shoulders and your spine in the other 3 directions. So find your center and hold that midline. And keeping your height, twist forwards, stretch that right leg out, and then bend the left knee up, circle it off to the other side. And lengthen up evenly through all 4 sides of your neck, keeping your head centered on that midline as well as your spine. And then circling forwards, left leg straight. We're going to open legs out, Upavishta, wide angle legs. Okay, now guys, we're going to be moving with breath, and the whole time you do this, it's really important to squeeze your tummy tight. So each time you breathe out, you squeeze your belly. Each time you breathe in, you keep your tummy squeezing. Okay, so for demonstration is we're going to be twisting and then reaching to the other side with the breath. So as you exhale, you'll twist to the right. As you breathe in, you come forward. As you exhale, you reach your arm over. As you exhale, you twist. As you inhale to front. As you exhale, arm over. Okay, so coming. And actually, if you want to, you can step this up a little bit. So as you twist, you can reach your left hand to your toes or past your toes. That's quite a nice one to open the lower back. Okay, so we're starting, we're twisting off to the right, either staying up tall or reaching with the left hand to toes. On your inhale, you come up. As you exhale, stretch it over to the other side and keep going. Excuse me. So as you do this, bum and thighs planted firmly into the ground. That's to give your spine extra support as you do this. Because as soon as the pelvis tilts and one side of the bum lifts, then your back tightens on the one side. So we need to keep the back supported. You do that by keeping your bum on the floor and by squeezing your belly tight with each out breath, keeping it tight each time you breathe in. Okay, now next time you twist to the right, we'll hold it. So either high or you can reach for your foot. And as you reach, push the left thigh back and down. Support yourself with your right hand wherever you need it. Okay, and then coming up to center, or reach your arm over and hold that side body lengthening. Sinking the right thigh down now. Soften into sides of the neck, but keep your neck long, again, on all 4 sides. And breathing yourself up to center. Okay, let's take our twist around to the left. On an exhale, you twist, either staying up tall or reaching for toes or past toes. Inhale to come up, exhale to side stretch, left arm over. Sink the sits bones, sink your heels. Keep stretching the heels away from you with the toes up. That helps to control the pelvis and the legs. And you might want to alternate the twists. Maybe one twist you're lifting high. Maybe the next twist you're reaching. It's a little bit of a different stretch in the back, depending if you're folding forwards or keeping chest up. Okay, now next time you take your twist, let's hold it, either staying up high or reaching for toes. Sit that right bum all the way down into the mat. And then coming up and taking your side stretch, left arm over. Root down with that left hip, press down with the top of the left thigh. And then floating up to center, we're going to bring the right foot in. And from here, tipping forwards onto your hands or elbows. And now once you're where you're going to hold the position, just check in with the two sides of your pelvis and the two thighs. Are you leaning a little bit more to your right or your left waist? Maybe shifting a little bit side to side to find where the midline is. And then stretch back from the back of the knee to your bum. And lengthen your sits bones back towards the back of your mat as well. Now bring the hands all the way up, stretch out your right leg, bring the left foot in, and then tipping forwards. And the same thing, once you're where you're going to hold the pose, just make sure that right foot is flexed, find your center, check the balance of weight across the two thighs, across your pelvis, and across your upper body. Try to find the absolute midpoint of balance. And walking hands up, open out your legs, and either again, feet together with straight knees or coming to cross ankles. Lift your heart high. On an inhale, sweep your arms all the way out and up. Bring your hands behind your head or your neck. Spread the elbows wide and take a few bends left to right. And now next time you tip to the right, we're going to bring right hand down. And we're going to take some curls. So as you breathe out, we're rounding left elbow to right knee. On an inhale, curl up. Exhale to round down. Inhale to roll up. Okay, so you might go even further. You might take your elbow down to the floor. You might take your elbow almost towards your knee or your shin. And each time you lift up, not just with your elbow and your arm, but with the left side of the chest, lift up with the ribs. Really warming up into that side body now. And now next time you lift your elbow up, we'll hold it there. Your right elbow might be bent, it might be straight. You might even have forearm on the floor if you're already super warm this morning, gone for a run or something. Okay, coming all the way back up to center. And let's change the cross of the legs. Opposite shin in front if you've got crossed legs. If you've got straight legs, they stay straight out in front of you. Okay, so on an inhale, reaching your arms out and up, hands behind head or neck, and then bending left to right. Make sure you're breathing, no holding the breath. Next time you tip over to the left, well, stay there, dropping your left hand down. And now we go for the curls. As you exhale, rounding elbow towards your knee or the floor in front of your knee or shin, or hovering above. In breath, lifting all the way up. Each time you lift the elbow, press up with your right ribs as well. So you're sending conscious energy into the right ribs, not just the arm and the elbow. Keep the shoulders and your neck soft. Okay, now next time you lift up, we hold the stretch. Stretch long through the sides of your neck as well as that right side body. Don't drop your left ear to your shoulder. Keep it lifted. With an in-breath, come up to center. Release your hand down. Roll over onto hands and knees, cats and cows. Now, as you breathe in, it's quite easy to feel your breath in your chest. And try to feel if you can, if there's any expansion in your upper back as you breathe in. So you focus your awareness on the upper back and notice how it feels each time your hips sink. That's when the back gets tight. So we need to breathe into the back so that it doesn't get over tight in your cow stretch. All right, we're coming into a flat back. Walking your hands around towards the right. Then slide your arms out into a side baby down dog. Hips over knees. Thighs straight up, let your head hang. If you need to drop one or both elbows, you can. Walking your hands up to center and off to the other side of your mat. As you slide the hands out, check those thighs. Try not to lean your hips to the left or the right. Keep the thighs straight up, hips straight up over knees. If you're leaning very slightly to the side, that's okay. That's like a centimeter or so. You're allowed to be off center, not more. Okay, walking back, hands onto your mat, and let's take a full downwards dog. Lift your knees, push those hips up to the sky. And then from here, taking feet forwards to hands. We're moving into sun salutations. On an in-breath, you float all the way up. And exhale, hands down. As you breathe in, reach back up again. On your out breath, fold down. Lean into fronts of your legs and shins. Half lift when you're ready. And then making your way back into your downwards facing dog. On an inhale, coming forwards into your plank. And then traveling down. Get those shoulders all the way back in your back bend. Fill your chest with breath. And when you're ready, making your way to hold your down dog. Now check the alignment of heels behind your ankle creases. Thumbs flat on the mat. All the other fingers and fingertips flat on the mat. Again, lengthening evenly through all 4 sides of your neck. Don't dig your chin into your throat. And don't look forwards either. Then we're traveling feet to hands. You bring hands behind your head. And on an in-breath, coming up to standing. So once you're standing, same side stretches left to right that you did when you were seated. And next time you tip to the right, hold it there. You bring right hand onto your right hip and lift that left elbow. As you stretch the elbow up, you lift from armpit to upper arm to elbow, stretch that space long, and also lift these left ribs up as well. And coming up to center, right hand behind your head. On an exhale, tip over to the other side, left hand comes to hip. Press the knees out to give you more stability in your spine. And lift up from the right waist to the armpit, from the armpit to the elbow. And then breathing yourself up to the midline, releasing arms down. And on an inhale, we float arms overhead. On your exhale, forward fold. Making your way back into your downwards facing dog. And then flowing forwards and down. Keep focusing on your breath. And taking it back to hold your down dog again. And then taking feet to your hands. You're going to take your feet just slightly wider than your hips in your standing forward bend at the top of your mat. And then from here, we're taking a lizard lunge back. So take your right leg back behind you. Bring your left hand inside the left foot. Both arms straight under your shoulders so that left foot goes as wide as you need to adhere for it to go. Just don't go too wide. So that left calf and knee should be touching your arm, but hands under shoulders, not hands touching each other. And you're sinking those hips, but keeping your right knee nice and straight here. And then left foot stays exactly as it is, right foot stays exactly as it is. Walk your hands towards the right side of your mat. So you're curving your body to the right. Left knee stays over your left heel. Don't lean it towards your left arm. Just check your right heel, guys. The right heel points up, right knee points down to the mat. Okay, now walking your hands back onto your mat under your shoulders where we started. Turn your right heel in and down. Keep your left hand where it is. Lift your right arm up to the sky. Okay, so your right leg is like a warrior 2 leg. Heel turns in and down. Right knee straight. Left knee over the left heel. And then lean all the way back into that left leg so that you can get your right arm straight up over your shoulder. Press your left shoulder into your knee or your thigh. Okay, we're going to bring the right hand down. and then turn onto the right toes and drop your right knee into a lunge. You lift your chest. From here, lifting your arms, palms face forward for a cactus pulse. On an in-breath, pull your elbows down. On your out-breath, stretch up. Keep going. Nice wide spaces between your fingers. You're pressing those fingers as wide apart as you can, not just little spaces, full wide openings. And next time you pull down, we're going to take arms back behind you and interlace your fingers. All right, nice. Hands down to the mat. You lift your back knee and step forward. And take that all to the other side. So left leg goes back. We're coming to lizard legs. Take your right foot as wide as you need to here to accommodate your shoulders and your arms. And then letting the hips sink. Lock that left knee nice and straight. Don't let it bend, not even just a teeny little bit. Okay, now feet don't change, legs stay exactly as they are. Just walk your hands around to the left side of your mat. So you're curving your spine like a banana to the side, creating more space in that right waist. And let the hips sink. Check that your right knee and calf are not leaning towards your right shoulder or arm. The lower your hips sink, the straighter that left leg becomes. Okay, now we're walking hands to the inside of the right foot. And we'll turn the left heel in and down. So left leg like warrior two, right hand or fingers on the ground or right hand on your block if you need to. Left arm lifts up like a triangle. Lean to your back as much as you can without falling over. And just check that left inner ankle, lift it up away from the floor. Okay, we're bringing left hand down. Turn onto your back toes and drop your left knee. Chest goes up. Let's take a cactus pulse. Arms reach up, spread the fingers wide. On an in-breath, pull down. On an out-breath, stretch up. Lovely, everyone. Keep going. Just make sure that that right shin is still under the knee. Sometimes we drop the back knee to the mat and then the right knee is in front of or over the toes. So we always got to make those little adjustments. Keep our joints happy. And now next time you pull down, keep the shoulders back as you reach your arms behind you. Find your hands. Great, guys. Hands to the floor. We're stepping forwards to the top of the mat, standing forward bend. Just hanging down. And then we're going to turn it into a squat. So toes turn out. Okay, you work it any way you want to. Just make sure your knees are pressing out as wide as you can. We're trying to get the weight of the legs here onto the outer calf, outer knee, and outer thigh. Okay, now we're going to take it into Padangusthasana, so into your standing forward bend, hips to the sky, turn the feet parallel, and then we take our big toe bind. So it's your first two fingers between the big toe and the second toe, and on both feet, you close the circle with thumb to fingers, And then squeeze that big toe down. You're squishing the big toe into those 2 fingers. And then closing the loop with the thumb. Keep pressing your knees out away from each other to widen the sits bones and the sacrum. Okay, now we're going to release your bind and we come into a second squat. So either working it the same as you did the other side, the last time, sorry, or we take a twist, right elbow or fingers down. So if it's elbow down, it's elbow on thigh, otherwise right fingers or palm on the ground and left arm twists up. So open that left side body, both shoulders push towards your spine, and then check that balance of weight on the feet. Are you leaning more weight to your inner ankle and calf? Press the knees open so you get more weight onto the outer edge of the foot, outer ankle, outer knee. And keep the legs like that. Don't lose that balance of weight in the feet as you change sides. Left arm down, right arm up. Maybe it's elbow on thigh if you can't get hand to the floor. So really opening that right waist. Okay, good guys, arm down. Once more, bum to the sky, turn your feet parallel, and this time arms back behind you. Find those hands, sink into your thighs. Now, whether your knees are bent, you can still lengthen up. So if your knees are bent, stretch up from your inner knee to your inner groin, from the outer knee, all the way up the back of the thigh to the bone. Just keep lengthening through all 3 sides of the thighs, not the quads are contracting here. And that action happens whether your knees are bent or straight. All right, hands to the floor. And we're going to take a low lunge from here. So we're stepping the right leg back, knee to the mat. Check your front shin alignment, and then normal warrior 1 arms. Let's take it to warrior 2. Left arm forward, right arm back. Left forearm presses your knee open. Turn the right palm and inner elbow up, and then twist your left inner elbow forwards. Either palms are flat or index fingers and thumbs together in Jnana Mudra, Wisdom Mudra. Okay, legs stay as they are. Right hand to the right leg, left arm to the sky. And as you do that, keep twisting your chest to the right side of your mat, pressing the left knee back in the direction your back is facing. Okay, now we're going to circle hands over to the inside of your left foot. Good, tucking the right toes, lift your right knee, and turn your right heel in and down. Okay, so we're going to keep left knee bent, right leg straight. So we've got warrior 2 legs, different arms. Walk your hands to the right side of your mat and stretch the arms out. The more you reach your arms out to the right, the more you're going to try and sink your hips down. So instead of having your body like a down dog with the hips high and the chest down, try and sink your bum. Yes, good, Anissa, that's a good adjustment. You were just leaning a little bit too much to the side there, and now you're good. Carnegie, watch your left heel, get it under your knee. Yeah, good. Okay, very nice, everyone. Walking your hands forwards again and step your right foot to the top of the mat. Let's float up on an inhale, arms all the way up. On your exhale, hands to center. As you breathe in, reach overhead again. And on your exhale, forward fold. Now we're taking our low lunge to the other side. Left leg steps back. Left knee to the mat. Right heel and shin directly under your knee as your arms go up to warrior one. Okay, so that heel directly under knee, you are allowed to have like a centimeter or two, not directly. So if your heel is like a centimeter or two back or forward in front of the line of the knee, that's okay. Doesn't have to be absolutely precise, but almost. It should be almost precise. Okay, then warrior two, right arm forward, left arm back. Press your right knee open with your right forearm. Turn the left palm up, inner elbow up, and then twist your right inner elbow forward. So either palms extended or bringing index finger and thumb together, but then stretching into the other three fingers. All right, keep that right knee nice and wide, left hand to left leg, right arm to the sky. This is a twist, guys. Don't turn your chest to the front of the mat. Keep trying to turn your chest to the left, but don't let the right knee lean in. So the hips stay nice and open. That's lovely. Circling hands over to the inside of your right foot. Tuck your left toes and lift your knee. Turn the left heel in and down to the floor. And just pause there a moment. So if you can, you're lining the heels up with each other. Right knee stays over the heel as you reach your arms out to the left. And you can let your head sink. Just be careful again with that head sinking down. The lower your head goes, the higher your bum will want to go to compensate there. So keep sinking the hips down. And as the hips go down, your legs are working harder. You're opening more, but you're also strengthening more. If the hips are higher, your legs don't work as much. That's why we like to lift that butt up. Okay, awesome. Walking hands forwards and then stepping back into down dog. So bring your feet to touch each other. We'll drop knees down to the sides of your mat, sink your forehead down to the floor and reach your arms out over your head. Walking your hands off to the right. So leaning over your right thigh if you can, or just on the inside of the thigh, and stretch out with that left arm. So maybe the right elbow will bend, but try and keep the left arm straight and really sink into your left waist, left ribs and armpit. Walk your hands all the way over to the other side. And now you're going to use your left hand more for stability. Right arm is more about stretch. Really reach into your right fingertips. At the same time, press back and down with your right hip and thigh. And then walking hands forwards. And this is where we're going to need our block if you have one. If you don't have a block, don't worry. You're going to have it on the right side of your mat, about halfway down the side of the mat. And then from hands and knees or from down dog, just step the right foot forwards into a low lunge. So get your alignment of the hips and the legs, and then lift your chest and bring your block alongside your right hip. Kind of just directly in line with the shoulder. If you don't have a block, doesn't matter, you don't need one then. And we reach left arm up. If you've got a block, tip your hand onto your block. And then if you want to go lower, you take your block lower. If you don't have a block, you're just stretching your fingertips down towards the floor under your shoulder. If you don't have a block, you're allowed to tip your chest a little bit forward to the right if you need to. If you do have a block, none of that. You just make it a full side body bend off to the right. You might even lean towards your spine a bit. All right, let's take it over to the other side. So you'll be able to go deeper on the other side. But if you need a block, get that block directly under your shoulder. Otherwise, fingertips to the ground, right arm reaches up, both armpits and shoulders, moving to your spine. And as you tip over here, don't let the knee lean over to the left. So often that knee will lean at a diagonal angle. Keep it straight up. Okay, coming up to center. I'm going to change, either stepping to down dog or onto shins. And then taking your left foot forwards. So get your alignment there, heel and shin bone under the knee. And block it directly in line with the left hip or shoulder. And then right arm up. And we go over to the left again. So it's the same side that we just did, just different legs. Yeah, okay, Cindy, left foot forwards. And then you've got right arm up, left hand down. You got it. Okay, if you're taking block, you come up to center, move your block over in line with the right hip and shoulder. If you're not using a block, you're going towards the floor with the right hand. Left arm stretches over. Guys, as you do this, twist your right inner thigh back towards your heel behind you. Don't twist the thigh forwards towards your front heel. There, we're coming up to center. And let's take it back into a down dog. I'm going to hold you in your down dog for a minute. So block out of the way. You don't need that anymore. Okay, here we go. 1 minute in down dog. Okay, so downwards facing dog is weight bearing exercise. We all know weight bearing exercise is really important for keeping your bones healthy. So when you put pressure on your bones, they build density. The same thing with your muscles. When you put pressure on your muscle fibers, they build strength and density. But right now, here in your down dog, you're stretching your arms, you're stretching your legs, you're stretching your back, so that that strength and density that you're building is not compact, right? It's not like doing bicep curls where you're pumping your muscles up and you're shortening the fibers. Right here, we're lengthening the fibers and strengthening as we load the muscle tissue and the bone tissue. Fantastic, everyone. Onto hands and knees. So you do your 1 minute down dog every day and you're going to get your bone density building. Okay, onto hands and knees, and we're going to take half splits. So we're taking right leg forwards and then folding straight down. So it's right thigh, kind of in line with your right chest, folding down. Pull all your toes evenly back towards your right knee. Find your breath. With each out breath, soften your chest forwards and down. Okay, now we're going to take it into a side splits. So walking your hands up under your shoulders. And now you're going to take your leg off your mat to the right. Get back a little bit there. Off your mat to the right. So at a 45-degree angle to your pelvis. Flex your ankle, pull your toes all the way up. Make sure your left hip stays straight over the knee. Then walk your hands off towards the left. Okay, so again, we're going at about a 45-degree angle to your mat there. And then slide your hands out away from you. If you need to drop one or both forearms, you can. Once you're where you're going to stay, have a look at your left hip. Is it straight up over your knee, or has your bum moved back a little bit? If that's the case, shift the thigh bone. And if you start to turn your right toes in here a little bit, that's okay, guys. It'll give you a bit more release in your chest. Okay, let's walk hands under shoulders, back onto your mat, and then step your right knee to the floor. And our half splits on the other side, left leg forwards, right thigh over knee, and folding straight down. So left chest hovering over the left thigh. And if it's comfortable, reach those arms forwards. And try to be doing the same thing here with each arm and shoulder. So we don't want one hand up higher than the other, one side of the chest higher than the other. Square that off fully. And then walking your hands under your chest, lifting your chest up. And we're going to step that left foot off the left side of the mat. Flex the ankle hard so we get the leg muscles fully engaged. Then walk your hands around towards the right and slide the hands out, or walk your hands out at a diagonal. So again, as you do that, often what happens is we move our bum back towards the right heel. Sometimes it's just a little bit back. Sometimes it's hovering all the way over the heel, not just the calf. Then you've got to adjust and get your thigh bone straight up over the knee. One of the reasons we do that is to keep your meniscus in your knee safe. Your meniscus is that little bit of slidey tissue that goes backwards and forwards each time you bend your knee. Okay, walking hands back up and onto shins. Okay, let's take a down dog. Let's give your knees a break there for a moment. Okay, so what happens with your meniscus while you're there? I'm just going to tell you. So your meniscus is that little, it's like an H, shaped like an 8, and it's between your thigh bone and your shin bone. And as you walk, that meniscus slides backwards and forwards to allow your bones mobility so that you can bend your knee. And when you're in superflexion of the knee joint, which is when you bend your knee deeply, for example, when you're doing a half split and your knee is on the floor, the best weight bearing is if your hip is straight over the knee. That's why I'm obsessed with 90-degree angles, right? In the legs. It's all to keep that meniscus safe. Okay, let's come down onto shins again. And this time we're going to lift shoulders over the knees. And from here, you're going to step your right foot out to the side. Now, as you do that, have that right leg at a bit of a diagonal angle forwards. So we're not trying to get the right knee out in line with your right hip. You're going to have your knee a little bit forwards in front of the line of your right hip. And as you do that, you're going to have your toes pointing in a diagonal angle, your foot at a diagonal angle. It's not toes out to the side of the mat. Okay, so leg is to the side, hands on hips or wherever you feel you need them, and we're going to pulse so that right foot can go out a little bit and then bend and straighten. Okay, so here's a good example of the meniscus in the knee sliding backwards and forward as you bend and straighten your right leg. As you bend your knee, that meniscus slides all the way back. As you straighten the leg, it goes all the way forwards. So we want to try and have the heel under the knee here. So we're going to hold it off to the side. Okay, now this is knee in a flexion, right? Right knee is in a flexion here. And we want to try and have your heel under your knee to keep your meniscus safe. Because once a meniscus starts to tear, it's excruciatingly painful. Okay, let's take right fingers down to the inside of your right heel. You can have hand on a block here. Press your arm into your knee and reach your left arm straight up over your shoulder. And if you want to get into the full side body stretch, reach your left arm over your ear. So the deepest stretch here is with right palm flat on the floor. If you need to be a little bit higher, you're on fingertips. If you need to be higher, it's hand on block inside the right foot. And really reaching all the way to your fingertips on that top hand. Okay, we push hard into your foot, come all the way up, and take right knee to the ground. Okay, other side, left foot steps out, thighs at a diagonal to a little bit forwards, not straight out to the side. Foot is also in that diagonal angle, and then we pulse. And then your back leg, guys, you might find, depending on structure in your knee joint, your foot might be turned back a little bit. It's okay. Don't worry about trying to get exact alignment with your right shin here. With the right leg, you need to do what's ever comfortable for the knee. That's different for everybody. But what we do want to do here is not have that left knee in too deep of a bend over the top of the foot. Try and have left knee over heel. Okay, let's hold it over to the side. Press the left knee all the way open. And now just really make sure that your heel is under your knee. And then if you want to go deeper, it's either left hand on block inside that left ankle or fingertips on the ground, or the full depth of the pose is left palm flat on the floor, shoulder pushing the knee open, either right arm straight up like a triangle arm or arm over your ear. You'll feel that change in the stretch over the outer hip as your arm goes over your head. And check in with your breath and keep your breath soft. If you're reaching your arm over your ear, try to get your elbow straight, like fully straight. And then we're coming all the way up to center, knee down, and let's take one last downwards facing dog. Hands down, hips up high. Release those knees. And from here, we're going to come down to sitting. Once you're sitting, stretch your legs out into a V shape. Press out with the heels, up with your toes, and we take a twist around to the right. Right hand behind you, left hand over your thigh. Sit a little bit more weight into your left thigh and your left bum. Lift your chest and lean slightly towards your spine. Keep your chest up high as you circle forwards and twist to the other side. And then untwisting. And we're bringing the right foot in again for our Parivrtta Jana Shashasana. Keep flexing the left ankle. Don't let that left foot flop over, and twist around to your right knee and thigh again. From here, leaning your left waist and shoulder down towards your left leg. Balance either on your left hand or on your thigh or on the elbow if you can, or take elbow to the floor inside the left thigh. And reach your right arm straight up. Spread your fingers wide. And we're going to do a few cactus pulses here. So elbow bends and then reaching up. And as you bend the elbow, pull your shoulder back. Doesn't have to be a deep bend. Just do that a few times to release the front of the shoulder and the right chest. Next time you bend, hold it there. You either bring your hand behind your head or your neck, or stretch your arm over your ear, or reach for your toes. So the closer you take your hand to your foot, the more your right upper arm will want to come in front of your nose. So don't let that happen, because as soon as your arm drops, you lose the stretch in the right waist and hip. So you want the elbow up as high as you can. That's why hand behind head can sometimes give you an even deeper stretch in the side body than reaching your arm over your head. Lovely, guys. We roll forwards onto forearms or hands and just pause there to center a moment. And then we come all the way up, opening the right leg out, bringing left foot in. And then straight into your twist, turning towards your left knee. Stretch your right heel away from you, lifting toes up high. And then start to lean over, right waist towards the right leg, right elbow or hand, anywhere that you feel you need it to support your upper body and to help you balance with the left shoulder all the way up. Okay, we're going to take left arm up over your shoulder, and then a few cactus pulses, elbow pulls down, spread your fingers wide. Okay, don't worry about your breath here. Just make sure you are breathing any which way you can. Your body is kind of in a very weird position for breathing, so don't stress about breath. Okay, we're going to keep your elbow bent. With the elbow bent, it might just be a very little bend. Pull the shoulder all the way back. And either bringing hand behind your head or neck, or reaching your arm over your ear. Maybe you can touch the toes, maybe you can't with the arm over the head. That's not really that important. Keep your left bum on the floor and move your elbow back as far as you can, whether your elbow is bent or straight. And then from here, slowly, gently rolling forwards onto your hands or your forearms, and just pause there. And coming all the way up, open the left leg out. And now we're going to stretch both legs out in front of you with your feet touching for a Kranchasana. Keep your left leg straight and the ankle flexed. Bend your right knee. Hold onto that right foot with your hands, and then lift your heel to the height of your right knee and pause there. Okay. And before you stretch your legs straighter, lift your chest and try and get your back as straight as you can here. Then start to kick your leg forwards. Don't worry if you can't get the knee straight. And then maybe, if it's comfortable enough for you, pulling that leg a little bit closer towards you. Don't compromise and pulling the leg closer and then rounding your spine. Keep your back up as straight as you can. Take right leg down to the floor. Flex your ankle, lift your toes. Left knee comes up and holding onto the left foot. When you lift, it's shin parallel to the floor and pause. Then try and get a flat back. So lifting that leg up sometimes needs a bit of core strength. And usually when we need core strength, we round our spine. So straighten the back, then try and stretch the leg straighter. Okay, so both legs are stretching straight here. We're trying to flex both ankles if possible, but particularly the foot that's on the ground. And then if you're going a little bit deeper, you pull with the arms, try and get your leg closer to you. But don't round your spine. Keep lifting your chest up each time you breathe in. Good, guys. Left foot down to the floor. And from here, straight into a forward fold. If you want to do legs apart, you can. Do whatever forward bend feels best for you today. So relaxing your neck, relaxing your throat. Don't clench the teeth, relax the jaw as well. And then lifting all the way up and making your way down onto your back. And once you're lying down, wiggle around, get yourself nice and comfortable, and close your eyes. If you want to take any other rest pose, you can take whatever works for you. And now coming back to breath. And taking a deep breath, reach out and stretch or do whatever you need to do. And from here, making your way up to sitting. May our minds be open to the divine light that guides us. May our hearts be open to the divine love that surrounds us. May the angels keep us and bless us and bring us joy. Namaste, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. That was lovely. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Oh, there you are, Cindy. Thanks, Cindy. I'm glad you made it today. I don't know what happened last week. I did send you the link, but it doesn't seem to have gone through.
It doesn't matter because it was a hectic day for me anyhow. I don't think but I was still.
Okay, great. Thanks. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Thanks,
Bye.
Tanya.
Okay. Thanks, Sal.
Divine and
Tanya.
enjoyable as usual.
Ah, great. That's
Have a lekker
fantastic.
day. See you next
Thanks.
week.
Thanks, my darling Sal. You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carnegie. Thank you, Hanny. You too.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.